I have been playing League of Legends on and off for over a decade now. I stopped playing as many do when it started to take over my life and sanity. Going on losing streaks, having teammates that look like they're still eating crayons, getting AFKs, and people that refuse to play the game as a team. And just seeing one of the most toxic and darkest side of humanity with people flaming each other after making a single mistake. My point here is that League is not a good game to take seriously, and you're honestly better off playing normals, ARAMs, or just skipping the game altogether. So I did. I managed to stop playing for a year, but Riot was one step ahead of me. Introducing Arcane was one of the best marketing techniques to attract new players to the game, as well as bringing back old players such as myself. With a compelling narrative, Riot had managed to trash queue me, getting me on their gritty little hands. And after watching Season 2, I once again started playing League of Legends.
Look at this fucking Nautilus!
Fuck off, bro! Fuck off!
I don't get it! I don't! Ah!
What you just witnessed is the average League player on their normal habitat, that of solo queue. Similar to the Tower of Babel, solo queue joins people that can't understand each other and put them under one common goal, destroying the enemy nexus. This is easier said than done, as 5 people that don't know each other would have to coordinate to win the game. However, with high stakes artificially created by the ranking system and the I can't say the word. Anonymity of the online third space, League brings the worst in humanity and causes many people to feel anger and frustration that more often than not they end up expressing to their teammates and even those around them in the real world. So my question is, why would a game that causes so much pain and anguish have such a grip on me and their player base? To the extent where they're addicted to their rankings and would neglect their personal life and relationships just for more LP. This being the artificial score system to rank up. The best way to understand this behavior is by looking at the psychological aspect of it. We all like getting a reward, right? We do something good and someone gives us a prize, or your brain itself releases dopamine while performing an activity we enjoy. This is the basic principle of the addiction to League, a dopamine reward system that slowly but steadily rewires our brain to want to do better each time, wanting to play more and more until you end up losing yourself. Riot implements this dopamine-inducing reward system in a Skinner box. The Skinner box is a behavioral operant conditioning experiment that allows psychological studies to determine how stimulus would affect behavior. Operant conditioning is essentially learning behavior based on positive and negative stimulation. If we do something right and we get a reward, we're most likely to do that action again. The opposite is true, as if we're giving a negative stimulation for our behavior, we will avoid doing those actions. The Skinner box had a pigeon or a rat encased in a box, so that no external stimulation could affect the behavior. The box itself would have a bottom or a lever that would provide the stimulus to the animal encased, some positive like food pellets and other negative like electric shocks. And their enforcement would be alternated between schedules to understand which one would be the more effective, such as a fixed and random intervals dealing with the time passed between stimulus, or fixed and random ratio dealing with the number of times the action has to occur before they receive a reward. Now, why am I telling you about rats in boxes? And it's not because that is the average League player. I'm telling you about this experiment because I believe this is how League keeps you addicted to the game, and in turn to the ranking system. And knowing how it works would hopefully allow some to understand the mechanics behind their addiction, allowing them to take action and break free from Riot. So, how does Riot implement their Skinner box? The reward system. Riot has many positive stimuli working at the same time. In the game, you get fixed radio positive stimulation when getting kills, last-hitting minions, getting turrets, or conquering objectives. All elements that give you gold or buffs as a reward to help you defeat the enemy team. This is often paired with the visuals and sound cues that trigger a dopamine hit in your brain. I mean, how do you feel when you hear this? Crazy, right? You probably felt good right after hearing that sound. Well, only if you're a basement dwelling degenerate like myself. If you didn't, just don't install League, you should be good to go. Outside of the game, the ranking system itself works as another positive reinforcement. During the earlier seasons of League, your rank was determined just by MMR, or matchmaking ranking, a number that would determine where in the list of all players you were positioned. By shifting to a tier system comprised of 10 different ranks from Iron to Challenger, the developers gave the people looking to increase their ranks a short-term goal to achieve. Jumping from one rank to another and even splitting each rank in 4 tiers, winning a random interval of these matches will provide the player with the positive reinforcement of ranking up. Ranking up becomes a random interval reward which helps solidify this behavior, playing League, and it is random despite as you're attempting to perform your best, your teammates and enemies are all determining factors that you have no control over, and unless you can 1v9 every game, it will end up feeling somewhat random. And as a cherry on top, after winning a certain amount of games, you're guaranteed a chest that may contain skins and champions, incentivizing rank play even more, as well as giving a reason for those who play more casually to jump into ranked. Riot does this knowing that one of the most guaranteed ways of getting someone hooked in the game is through ranked, and people that play more often are more likely to spend money on cosmetics for their own game. The punishment system. Riot implements the punishment system in 2 ways, a passive and an active way. In a passive way, through fear of missing out, by creating limited time content, offers, skins, and even game modes, the developer punishes the player for not playing by reducing the items they can receive in-game. They also create a sense of need when creating media such as Arcane, that reels in new players as well as old ones, with in-game events that would motivate anyone to play during the time period. In an active way, Riot uses dopamine you have been receiving and it removes it altogether. When you go on a losing streak, more often than not, you will keep playing, trying to achieve that one victory. I mean, we all have been there playing at 3 AM in the morning just because we can't end on a loss, but have you ever wondered why you can't? Your brain has been trained by Riot to feel the dopamine release of a victory. So if you don't receive one, you start to feel the withdrawal from it. That serves as a double-edged sword. As, well, in this state of mind, you may not be in the best mental state to perform well, creating a vicious cycle of loss and punishment. Even if you stop now, you will realize that you can't stop thinking about getting that one victory you feel you need. Riot is not only punishing you, they're also making you crave the game even more. But it doesn't even end there, as once you finally achieve that one victory you needed, the joy and happiness you feel will solidify the need for keep playing even more. It is quite twisted.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Thinking of the sunk cost fallacy also makes it harder to stop playing. This fallacy can be seen in gambling, especially when you have spent so much money already that your brain rationalizes the idea of continuing to gamble as to try to make some of your losses back. In League, it is the same way, but this time with your time spent in the game. I mean, you have learned so many systems, so many champions, abilities, cooldowns, items, passive, even skins. Are you going to stop now and make that learning useless? And with an evolving meta, new champions, and patches, leaving for some time to later return would put you at a disadvantage compared to someone that breathes and consumes League every day. The box. League's box is defined by the player. The more one plays, the more you care about the rank, the more you start to isolate yourself, starting to neglect family, friends, significant others, even forgetting what grass feels like as you don't want to fake check any bush.
Champ is so broken. FF.
Withdrawing yourself from society puts you in a box where you can be indoctrinated with the psychology tricks created by the developers to keep you playing, and the more you play, the more you will be setting yourself deeper in the box. And finally, one of League's strongest suits, the replayability. With over 150 champions to pick and choose from, there's so many options to keep you playing. New abilities, new builds, trying different team comps, runes, And while having all of these options, you'll still have the ability to keep improving your basic mechanics to win each game. It feels like the learning and mastery that can be attained in this game is infinite. And learning and mastering your champion to earn a hard-fought victory, a Baron steal, that one ult that changes the course of the game, or even getting recognition from yours and the enemy team, all release the dopamine to keep you playing. All that paired with the fact that the games are between 30 to 45 minutes, being able to squeeze a game in our busy lives start to become part of our routine, developing a terrible addiction. My point with this video is not really to make people stop playing this game. It is a fun time. I just want to show you what is really happening and how Riot has you in a little box, trapped with their charm. If you understand how something works, it is easier for you to prevent it from controlling you. In my personal experience, I enjoy the game the most when I'm learning a new champ and playing norms and ARAM. It is okay to play ranked, but understand that LP is not real. And never let this or any game control you or make you miss out on the cool opportunities in life. I guess what I mean to say is go touch some grass. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and leave a... I don't know, just you do you. Have fun.